is like the last straw on the camel's back. There you go. Straw on the camel's back. Who came up with that idiom?
There you go. Yeah. Well, that one makes sense because usually, like, you load up a camel with a bunch of shit, and the straw is that last piece of ounce that, like,
what? That killed the camel? Did the camel fall over and die? Why is that insane?
It's like an idiom to, like, you're really like you pushed it a little bit too far.
Well, I know what it means, but it's just like, why is that a thing that I'm saying? Like, I've never been on a camel in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. The transfer of that. Yeah. Like, and it sticks around. Yeah.
There's no camels here. Anyway.
Welcome to the Good Games Podcast. My name is James.
Ooh.
I am Leah.
And I'm Justin.
I always try to deliver my introduction differently, like my cadence every single time. I try to mix it up. I don't know why. It's just my brain's like, you can't.
Today was very dainty. You were like, welcome to the Good Game Podcast.
I don't know.
It was so delicate. Like you were just placing it so nicely.
I think it's kind of cool. It's one of those little things that makes podcasting great. Is that, like, if you're here for like every episode, you get to hear those little differences, little nuances.
Well, tonight is. I think that's appropriate. Tonight is a very dainty, delicate night because we're talking about space, the most delicate of
frontiers.
Places. Yeah, the most. The most delicate frontier. I don't know where I'm going with this. I was trying to segue and then it crashed and burned.
Dude, I just got 75,000 credits for that bounty.
Wow. What bounty?
What is Leo talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about, buddy?
Well, I'm a space hauling, bounty hunting space cowboy.
In what video game?
In Elite Dangerous.
Hey, we're talking about Elite Dangerous. A very highly modeled space sim game, and then later in the show we're talking about our favorite space games.
Yeah.
What do you guys what do you guys make of this game Elite Dangerous?
Well, Elite Dangerous is an interesting name for the game.
I don't what that
it doesn't come off like space.
Yeah, why is it called Elite Dangerous? Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't really.
Elite Dangerous sounds like a very action-packed, thrill ride, sort of like elite.
Yeah, like when I hear Elite Dangerous, I think I'm gonna do like some like covert ops, like military infiltration, like.
Yeah, no, this game does have some dangers. It's modeled. Very accurately to our existing Milky Way galaxy, and there are a lot of dangers in space. And it is a little bit kind of A Million Ways to Die in the West, sort of, where like there's so many stories people have of just randomly dying in this game, from flying too close to a sun to trying to land on a planet that's got 34 times the gravity of Earth or whatever, and so it's dangerous in that respect.
I've learned that sometimes the game will just dump you out too close to the sun, and all the heat warnings will just go off.
That doesn't happen.
That happened to me like 3 times. When I'm.
It's because you have your.
You came out of warp with
with the throttle
and kept accelerating.
Yeah, it just kept flying into the sun.
Yeah.
Well, it does take you out of it like at a complete stop, pretty much.
Yeah, it does. It's supposed to.
Okay,
James
so
was
I
just
have
like full throttle.
I have a throttle wheel on my flight stick, so I'm like using the throttle wheel. So when I
do too.
So yeah, I spin up the throttle wheel to do the hyper jump, but then
then you got to spin it down.
well, yeah, that's one of the things. The game doesn't tell you how to do that, so you just end up flying into the star by default.
That's a good point, though. The game doesn't tell you, and the game doesn't tell you a whole lot.
No, the game doesn't tell you jack shit, and that's the first
Yeah.
Okay.
This game has an enormous learning curve.
Learning curve. It's just a wall.
Something that I think turns off a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh,
including
absolutely.
me. I've owned this game for 3 years, and I've only played it in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know,
I can tell you that the learning curve was a huge hindrance to me, but like, it's more than just the learning curve for me. And this is probably even more like, I don't know, a more like personal thing, but like, so like I spent a bunch of time in the tutorial, ran through, learned all the controls, learned all this simulation crap. You know, I got all that stuff down, and then I was like, cool. Like, now what? Like when does the game become fun?
Right. Yes.
Like I would say okay. I've spent a grand total of probably 3 hours in this game. I don't have a lot of playtime in this game. My 3 hours in this game, like 95% of it has just been like flying around, like just flying around in empty space. Like, is that the experience of Elite Dangerous?
I don't think so.
Okay.
That's definitely how it starts. It starts that way for everyone. But I think it's like you have to make a concentrated effort to get past that learning curve. I think it is the most.
No. It's not the learning
obstacle.
curve. I feel like I have a. Okay.
No. Let me explain
right.
why.
Okay.
It's not. What did you learn? What would you consider that you would you? Do you feel that you've surpassed the learning curve already?
No, not at all. No, I'm
right.
scratching the surface. I know how to control my ship, and I know how to like get from point A to point B, how to dock, how to undock, purchase all the crap, and outfit.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know the basics. I know the basics.
And like you said, you're scratching the surface. To me, the greater learning curve is really about what you actually do in this game.
Okay, yeah. What do you do in this game? Because I'm waiting for this game to be a game.
Right, and that's the key. Is basically way after you've learned how to fly this ship, then you learn about how to make money. There's bounty hunting, there's mining, there's trading, there's exploration, and there's mechanics for each one of these things that are like mini games and a very different experience for each of those. Then there's
it's a space sim too. Like you got to think about that.
Yeah, there is a lot of flying and there's a lot of empty space. That is true, no matter what.
Yeah, okay, so, like, I can appreciate the, like, super highly modeled space sim. Like, that's cool, but the novelty of that kind of wears off after you do it a few times. Like, the whole hyperdrive thing and, jumping in and out and all of the flying, docking, undocking. That is cool the first few times you do it, and then, like, the 6th, 7th, 8th time you're like, all right, like, come on. Okay, still, I can appreciate the space sim, but okay, when I was like, and this is what I was talking about, it's a more personal thing for me, because when I was Googling, like, how to play Elite Dangerous, like, all of the guides are, like, rephrasing the question as, how do you make money in Elite Dangerous? I was like, okay, but why do I want to make money? Like, why am I like, what is the point of this game? And I think ultimately the answer is there is no point. You have to come up with your own goals. You have to come up with your own thing. And I'm not good at that.
You have to role play.
Yeah. I am so not good at that. If you give me an open-ended game, and that's what I mean. I struggle with this in a lot of like open-ended games and MMOs. Like if I can't find something interesting to like latch onto or something fun to do, I'm just like, all right, fuck it. I'll play something else now. And
I definitely agree that that's you make your own goals in this game. It is designed to be, the opposite of like an established, I guess, path. Like you just say, oh, okay, I want to try to earn some money to get a bigger ship. That was my first goal. Yeah. So then I was like, okay, how do I earn money? Was really my question. Like you said,
Yeah, all of the guides just tell you how to make money. I'm like, yeah, but why do I want to make money? Like, is there a thing I should be doing? Like, there's no like with this game. There's no kind of defined game loop or goal or story to like achieve. Or anything like that. It's really just about doing stuff in space and kind of making your own goals. I will tell you this. One of the goals I have, for example, this is the moment where it became the most goal-oriented game for me. Sol is our solar system in real life, right? Our sun with Earth and everything like that.
and it exists in the game in Elite Dangerous, but it's behind a Federation-owned like system, so you have to have a permit with the Alliance, the Federation Alliance or whatever, just to go there.
With Starfleet,
so, yeah. So in order to get a permit, you have to complete missions for the Federation Alliance, which involves going to the Federation-owned starports, asking for a mission, going to complete that. You earn a little bit of reputation, and you work your way up the ranks of basically being like an Alliance pilot.
Starfleet
and then you
officer,
get a permit to go to then you get a permit to go to Sol, and that's my main goal right now.
Go out on some missions to the neutral zone and destroy some Romulan warbirds.
Exactly, that's literally it. So I'm basically doing the Star Trek thing, and then I want to go to the Sol galaxy and see Earth. That's really my main goal right now.
Okay,
but cool. I made that myself.
Cool.
There's self-driven.
Yeah, I struggle with that, and like.
Okay.
Really, like the only game I've ever like latched onto that it's been super open-ended like that is like Minecraft, and I think the thing I found interesting about Minecraft was all the creative stuff. Like I wasn't super interested in like the survival aspects of Minecraft, which I know like that appeals to a lot of people. But like for me, Minecraft is all about more creative stuff, and I know like Minecraft now actually has like an end. With like a boss you fight and then you beat the boss and you beat the game, the credits roll and everything. But like I'm talking about the like older like the beta version of Minecraft, which is like how I got introduced to that game, was super open ended, and like normally that is not my type of game. I don't know. Yeah, I
agree.
I just usually don't go for the like make your own sandbox style. Yeah, I suppose that's how to describe it. It's a sandbox, make your own goal sort of thing. It's usually not my type of game.
Yeah, I get you. Now, it's funny that you mentioned Minecraft, though, and in making that comparison. There's a game that someone linked me to whenever they learned that I was playing a little bit of Elite Dangerous. I think it's called Space World. I forgot what it's called. It's in like pre-alpha right now, but it's basically Elite Dangerous meets Minecraft. It's like a completely big, large space universe kind of thing, but you build your own ships with like a blocks-like system.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. I can't remember. You're right.
Called?
It's based something. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Space World.
Yeah, let's call it Space, and then just infuriate anyone who's listening to this podcast is just screaming out the name of the game if they know it.
Yeah.
Just like, God damn it, it's called Space World.
Yeah, if you're out there screaming the name of that game, give us an email.
Leave the name of the game we're talking about in the comments.
Yeah.
There you go.
Interact with us, please. But yeah, that game kind of seems interesting if you appreciate a more creative aspect to the whole sandbox element. But is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking for just something fun to do in Elite Dangerous. It sounds like I'm being super, I don't know. Because like there's just so many layers of like minutia and just like obtuse like menus and spreadsheets of information.
There's no spreadsheets.
Like there's like the menus just have like tabs of like information and just navigate it, like knowing what all the menus are and like learning how to control the ship is like like the game
it was a little tedious.
The game is like buried deep beneath all this like obtuse information that you have to understand first, which was like the other. And like I'm okay, like one of my favorite games is Dark Souls, which if you really want to get good at that game, you kind of have to make an effort to understand how all the systems work behind the scenes, which is exactly what I'm describing in Elite Dangerous. It's just spreadsheets of numbers of strength and intelligence and you have to understand how all of it works if you want to like really master that. So like I'm okay with like the wall of a learning curve that you have to climb as long as the game behind it is fun or like like something I can be interested, like something that is enjoyable. And you need
something in the meantime, right? You need something that you can engage with while you're still learning.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Game. Because Elite Dangerous just starts you right off with like, okay, you got to learn everything. Go.
Here's the world. Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, like, is that not how really you would be thrown into that whole kind of situation. It's like, here's your space license, so I mean, there you go. Now space is yours. Do what you want. You know,
that's the key, right? I mean, I think for some people,
yes, exactly. This is going works. To appeal. There's a very certain subset of people that this game is like gonna be their fucking shit, and that's awesome, and that's great, and it just like Dark Souls. Like, I mean, it's probably more mainstream than Elite Dangerous, but like there are certain people that those games are just not for, and I get it. Like, I totally get it. But yeah, Elite Dangerous is just so not my thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
You're looking for an adventure. You're looking for like something to do.
Yeah.
And the game just is more of like a kind of do your own thing.
Exactly.
And
make your own adventure.
Another game I want to contrast this against, because I fucking love it, is Star Wars TIE Fighter, the 1990, I think 1990, it might be before that. Anyway, early to mid 90s DOS PC game. It's a Star Wars flight simulator, and it has not nearly to the same degree that Elite Dangerous has, but it has a learning curve, and it has the same sort of thing as Elite Dangerous, where like every fucking key on your keyboard does something. But like you if you spend a lot of time with TIE Fighter, you'll eventually learn what all those keys do. But, like, basically, all you have to do is just point your reticle at something and blow it up. Like, that's the game. Like, and then eventually you learn how to, like, maximize the efficiency of your ship and control all these other systems. But really, the heart of the game is just point and shoot and blow up. And that's why I think, like, that game appeals to me more, is because, like, it's just, I don't know, the underlying game is just more apparent. It's not buried deep beneath menus and information, and I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean, I think there's different levels of space that you could do in a game, and I think the people behind Elite Dangerous definitely chose a certain level of space that is not, it's not like easily accessible, like to most people's level of interest, I think. But the reward from that is, if you are the right kind of person that like are intrigued enough by the base game to learn its intricacies, then the opportunities are like, you know, the payoff is huge. You know, if you like learn all those intricacies, that like if you have the patience to learn all those things, I guess.
Well, one of the other trade-offs, I think, of having like the super obtuse, highly modeled system is that you can have a game system that purports to be like realistic, right? Because it's like, right. Oh, you know, the suns have gravity and the planets orbit the sun, and like, the sun is hot, and if you fly too close, you heat, and you know, I don't know. You have all these like crazy systems. Then like,
have you checked out like there's like a subreddit for Elite, obviously, but there's like these stories of like, there's a guy, I watched his whole video. He did a time lapse. Like, he found a planet. Like, he like, that's the thing, is people are exploring planets in this game. Like, planets no one has ever landed on, right?
Yeah.
Because it's literally that huge. Mm-hmm. And so he found a planet, and it was like really close to like one of those, I forget what the official celestial term is, but one of those like imploded stars.
A black hole?
Well, no, it's like a big gaseous star. It's like really bright, but it's already dead. I forget what the heck it's called. Or maybe it was a dying star. I don't know. The point is,
okay,
it was really close to the planet, and he wanted to see like the trajectory of the planet as compared to the star. Whatever. He lands his SRV there, and then like just does a time lapse. And in a YouTube video, you see the planet like literally orbiting around this like star, and all of that is happening all at the same time around the entire game. So everyone can have kind of a different experience, and it's all based on real orbits and everything like that, like you were saying. That's kind of nuts.
No, that's super cool. Yeah. That's like technically impressive. That I don't want to take away like. I don't know. Yeah. I appreciate.
But it's like you said, that's a trade-off, though.
Yeah,
that's a trade-off. Yes. You know, that's
you have a highly modeled, highly realistic, you know, all these crazy systems. The trade-off is like, you have a large learning curve and a lot of tedium.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Yeah, that's really what turned me off from this game for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I owned this game like years ago, and then just tried very similar. Like I played like maybe like 20 minutes of this game, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? I don't want to play this. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like when I first played it, so it was a lot of just, and Leo was there when I first turned it on. It was a lot of me just like trying to figure out the flying, and that was a huge learning curve, and to get used to it. And like, I also started looking up like videos and tutorials, or how do people, best set up their mouse and keyboard. And
oh shit, you're doing mouse keyboard. What was that experience?
That's interesting.
That's how that played. I played for the first like 20 hours.
How does this even work with mouse keyboard?
It works pretty good.
Really? Okay.
For what it is. I mean,
okay. All right.
Yeah, essentially, like, so your WASD keys are like thrust, pretty much.
Okay.
And your mouse is like the yaw and the, tilting, moving, so kind of turning a little bit. So, but like sometimes, like I would sit there, and like if I leaned a little bit on the right or a little bit on the left, all of a sudden my ship would just start spinning. It was just awkward, and it was difficult, and it was like trying to get it to not do that. So I was constantly looking up like ways to change the controls to help with that.
Yeah, I did a lot of that at the beginning. But by the way, Leo, I know you and I are playing with a flight stick. By default, was your X-axis on your joystick, was the X-axis mapped to roll instead of yaw?
So when you say X-axis,
I mean side to side, not forward backwards.
Well, my joystick has a twist motion side to side.
So you because I
side.
have a way older joystick, so I just have an X-axis and a Y-axis. So it just goes forward, backwards, side to side. So by default, the game had mapped my like X-axis, so side to side, to roll.
Left, right. Oh,
so
yeah,
when I go left, my ship just starts rolling. So I was like, "What the fuck?" Because like
how else would you have it?
You have left, right as yaw instead of roll.
Oh no! That's terrible. You
Why
want to roll to the left, and then you want to pitch up. So basically, when you turn, every time you make a turn in this game, you're basically turning sideways and then pitching up.
Yeah, but what if I want to turn without pitching?
Well, you can yaw with either like if you had pedals or with some keys, or in my case, I twist the joystick to yaw left and right. But the yaw is very slow. It is,
and that's the other thing I found weird.
Yeah,
because like in TIE Fighter, all of the ships are like crazy fast and maneuverable, and like you can just zip all around all over the place. Like comparatively, the ships in this game felt like so sluggish and unresponsive.
Well, to be fair, you're in the worst ship possible when you start.
I figured there's probably ships with better stats, and some of this is probably like the highly modeled realism of like ships can't.
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
Ships can't make 90-degree turns or whatever, but I don't know.
I also heard the argument that when they developed the controls for Elite Dangerous, that they developed them with like an atmosphere in mind. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that they really should have been designed for more of like space, where space you would definitely control your ship a lot differently. Like you're saying, James, you would definitely change how your yaw and roll would be assigned to the stick, where it seems like they almost assigned it as if it were to be like a jet, like on Earth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure how true that is. I'm not familiar with basic flight controls.
Yeah, so that's an interesting point, because I have played a couple of other sort of space simulators as in the past and more recently as well, as I was looking for something that worked really well with VR, which is what kind of got me started on this game. And in playing another game that's very popular, it's kind of lumped into the same group as this game and No Man's Sky. So those are the three. Like Star Citizen is the one I'm talking about.
Oh,
then
boy.
There's No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous. Those are like the big three sort of space simulator games.
Yep.
And I hopped into Star Citizen recently, and their flight system is a lot more like kind of like what you're describing. It's very similar to Elite with flight assist off. If you ever tried turning that off, on my joystick I actually have a button to turn off flight assist like momentarily. When you do that, it's how Star Citizen flies all their ships. It is like every minute movement like spins you out of control. It's like a complete omnidirectional control of your ship as opposed to more of like a fighter jet sort of feel, like you were saying, Justin.
Yeah.
I think the fighter jet style is, I don't know, I find it more like it's more simple, but I like it a lot more. Like it's more easy to grasp, I think. As steep of a learning curve as this game is, like any added complexity of a omnidirectional flight control like that would be, oh man, that would be brutal, which I guess is how Star Citizen is for what it is.
So, I keep making comparisons between this game and other games. You know what this reminds me of? Like, sports games. Like, the difference between, like, NBA 2K whatever and, like, NBA Jam. Or, like, Madden and Blitz. Like, I don't fucking want the realism. I want the arcade goofy bullshit. I want to be able to NBA Jam, do a million flips, slam dunk, set the hoop on fire. I want to be in Blitz, tackle the people after the whistle. Like, I don't
throw them
care.
Around.
Like, I don't want this super highly realistic pitch, yaw, whatever. Like, no, I just want to, like, zoom around and blow shit up.
You don't want those perfect stats?
No. I don't want the realistic model. I want the arcade model.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's definitely not this, but
yeah, if you're definitely looking for a good simulation, Elite Dangerous is a good simulation. Like, if you really want to know what it feels like.
Yeah.
Granted, there is the adventure element where there's like bounties and like, there's obviously quests and pretty much shit you have to do, but yeah, in the end, it's just space, and you're in space, and you're doing your thing, and that's roughly about it. Like, do your thing. Like, have fun with it. There's nothing really... There's no story here. You're just here, and you're flying around, and you're a space cowboy, so do it.
That's basically it, yeah.
But, I mean, like, to be honest, that appeals to someone like me, too. Like, I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's just kind of turn off your brain and just fly around space and just do things rather than trying to have like a linear story in mind.
I can appreciate that. That. By the way, the one thing I did appreciate was when you dock in a spaceport, it starts playing. I think it's Tchaikovsky. Is that the Nutcracker? What, like da 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 da?
Yeah.
Da, da, which
that was perfect.
It reminded me a lot of like all of the classical music in like 2001, which I'm sure is what is being referenced there.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. Oh, you know what else too is you can actually upload your own playlists and stuff into this game.
Ooh.
So you can load up like MP3 files or whatever, and then the game loads them out of the software, the game install folder or whatever. But then in your ship, you can go to a menu and like play the music.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Nice. Well, anything else with Elite Dangerous?
It's a complicated game.
It is for sure. It is a complicated game. It's going to. If you already know, if you're that person, if you've listened to this conversation, you already know if this game is for you or not.
Yeah.
You know if you're the space sim guy.
It's not like your gamey kind of game. It's more of a...
Yeah. It's a simulation. It's a
simulation, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Truck Simulator in space.
But less of the jankiness.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by our Patreon people, backers. Yeah, backers. There we go, right? Are they backers? No, we're not Kickstarter. They're patrons.
Yeah, Green Bay patrons.
Patrons.
Thank you, patrons. You make this podcast possible. Your money helps us pay for the software that we use to post and host this podcast. And you too, listening to this podcast, can support us on Patreon and be a backer or a patron or whatever the hell you want.
Patriot.
A patriot. You can be a patriot. You can call yourself whatever you want. If you go to patreon.com and look for Good Games Cast, you can also email us at goodgamescast@gmail.com.
Ooh,
All right. Let's talk about our top 5 space games. Should I go first?
You go first. I'll be right back. I just got a bio break, and then I'll come back.
Okay. I'm going to go first. And I guess just you and me, Justin,
here we go.
are just going to talk about my top 5, or our top 5 games until Leo gets back. Unsurprisingly, you're not going to find Elite Dangerous in my top 5. My number 5 space game is Star Fox 64.
Ooh,
yeah, fucking Star Fox. Like this is what I meant when I was like, hey, I want some arcadey bullshit, like flying around, blow shit up. Like, yes, I want some fucking Star Fox. Which
Star Fox 64 was like a great, like, especially like when we were just getting into that whole like 3D realm, which was N64 roughly.
Yeah,
like Star Fox hit that really well.
Yeah. This is the type of game that I enjoy. I just want to fly around and blow shit up. Star Fox 64. What about you, Justin? What's your number 5?
My number 5, I put FTL.
FTL, not all the way down at 5, man.
Well, there was a couple. I don't know. Like this was another difficult list because it's like I sat there and tried to think of like, okay, what space games have I played, and then I literally had to like type into Google like, okay, what are space games? Because like it's such a broad thing. Like,
I totally did the same thing. I was like, what the hell are even space games?
Yeah, because it's like, do you consider just being on a planet a space game? Like you're on an alien planet, but is that really space, or is that just survival, or
sure,
like
whatever?
It's like so. But I liked FTL, but like personally, I found it kind of difficult in some ways because I don't know. I was just trying to adapt my mind to the whole like. But I enjoyed it. I like the whole like ship command control, and it kind of you can do this and that, and you can pause it, and you can like vent out the things to kill enemies or put out fires, and it was a really cool like a space command simulator in a way.
Yeah.
Where you had to tell people where to go, you had to make sure someone was working on that in order to keep that running. Make sure there was power going, and then it did give you like a bit of a like dangerous story, like you were the rebels running away. There was this force about to like take over, and they're like hatching up to you, and you got the last little bit of literally forgot. I haven't played that game in a while, but I forgot what the plot was. But I remember it's roughly like you're like running away with like the last bit of like hope, essentially. It's Rogue One.
Shit, man, I don't remember what the plot of that game is either. All I remember is you're running away.
Yeah.
All I remember is exactly what you described.
It's essentially, it's sort of like a Star Wars thing where like there's this like new like kind of tyrannistic like empire or like rebels or something like coming after you, and you're trying to run away, and you have like the last bit of something. You've been a ship assigned to do something, but you have to run away, but then they keep catching up, or you keep running into hostiles, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, love FTL.
What were the first 2 choices?
Oh, I threw out Star Fox 64, and Justin threw out FTL.
Gotcha. I'm going to say, I'm surprised Star Fox 64 was that low on your list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a lot of other space games I really love.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
about you, Leo? What's your 5?
I would say, are we doing all 5 or just number 5?
Yeah, number 5.
Number 5, I'm going to give to No Man's Sky.
Ooh, all right. Nice.
I only just played this game for the first time about 3 weeks ago when I was kind of starting my research of, space simulators or whatever. So I know when the game first came out, there was a lot of controversy behind it.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people have agreed that the game has really done a kind of a big 180 in its popularity.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Is it's pretty good game now.
I would definitely say that I was impressed with I don't know how marketable it was. Like I could definitely if I wasn't so busy trying to learn my way through Elite Dangerous, I probably would be spending a lot of time in No Man's Sky. Like it's definitely a game I want to revisit because it's like it seems like a game.
Real quick, how do those 2 games compare?
They're actually. I would put them kind of in the same family, I would say, but No Man's Sky is a little bit more mass marketable. Like things are made more simple for you. It has a little bit of more focus on exploring planets and finding unique combinations of genetic species, and
it's procedurally generated, right?
It is procedurally generated.
Yeah.
You're gathering like resources and building like new parts of your ship. Like it's a little bit more adventure, space adventure.
And
so yeah,
and I could agree with that it has like that sort of more of that game appeal to it, where it's like,
right.
oh, it's more flashy colors. It's more like kind of standard like iconic UI to where you're like moving things around. So it feels more like how you've been arguing, James, more of like a game, like a adventure game almost.
Yep.
But it keeps that sense of like you're still kind of out in space and doing your own thing.
Yeah, it's basically it's got more of a game sort of a feel, but it's still out there in space, and there's a lot to explore and a lot to be impressed about technically. So, I give that my number 5.
My number 4 is Super Mario Galaxy. Not your typical space game, but
does that really count?
Yeah, what? He's in goddamn space. What? He's in fucking space. It's a space game.
I guess. All right.
Yeah. No.
Well, me and James just said that earlier while you were absent, Leo. So
it's like, what the
we
fuck
were saying
is
like
a
what
space
qualifies
game?
as a space game.
Yeah.
Like, is it being on a planet? Is it being in space? Is it flying through space?
A focus on the extraterrestrial, I guess.
I would say Mario Galaxy fits that description.
I would say so as well.
You can be a bee on a different planet.
You can definitely be a bee on a different planet. So I like this game a lot. Okay, nasty shit out of the way first. Some of the like planets, like when you run around the planet. Okay, so I don't know how to explain this, but like gravity is kind of a big mechanic in this game. And you can just run around entire like small planetoids as Mario, which can be really disorienting, especially because the game kind of struggles to split the difference between like reorienting your controls so that they make sense in relation to Mario. Anyway, it's kind of disorienting, and also there's like waggle motion controls. Aside from that. This game is, like, really fucking good. This was, like, one of the first games that I was like, oh, like, Nintendo makes amazing levels. Wow. Because, like, they'll come up with, like, an idea for a level, and it's, like, a fucking amazing idea. So, like, one of the concepts is, and this game also splits the difference between, like, 3D levels and 2D levels. So there's a 2D level where they keep flipping gravity. So there's like there's blue gravity, which for the sake of my example, let's just say works as normal, where gravity points downwards towards the bottom of the screen. But then there will be points where there's like red background, and that means like red gravity, where gravity is inverted and Mario falls up like towards the top of your screen. And there's like entire platforming challenges around that, and that's just like a level, and that's fucking it. And then they move on to another idea. But, like, you could have made an entire fucking game around that one mechanic of, like, flipping gravity. But instead, like, nope, it's just one level, and then we're going on to another cool idea. And that's, like... And they've done this again in Mario Odyssey and, like, Mario 3D World. It has the same sort of thing, where it's just, like, here's an awesome idea, we're doing it once, then we're discarding it and moving on. But, yeah, Mario Galaxy, very good level design.
Okay.
I feel it.
Okay. My number 4, I did put Elite Dangerous as my number 4.
Ooh.
Because I find I do like, my thing is I like simulated space. And I like if like I can get a good like feel for simulated space, even if it's dangerous, but even if it's
and elite.
No, even if it's like difficult to kind of learn to traverse through said space, I do like the fact that it's so detailed, and it feels like you're actually fucking like a pilot in a ship flying around controlling your own thing. Like it's like you're like, ooh, is this my own little like Star Trek universe or my own little thing going on? It's like it feels so. I like that. I like that feeling of like being kind of in this futuristic mode, and it feels real, and it feels like you're in control of it, and it doesn't feel like it's being too much of a game in your face. Yeah. So, I put Elite Dangerous at my number 4. I kind of liked it. I still got to figure out the goddamn flight controls because I gotta stop spinning around. But nonetheless,
it's a bitch. Oh, you have the same sort of problem where your roll is mapped weird or something.
Yeah, it's on the mouse. I looked up one thing I'm going to try out, but
you probably whatever. Anyway, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Hey, quick interjection here.
Okay. Yeah.
Tinra on the Twitch stream of the podcast that we're doing
Tinra.
for the first time today.
Hello.
Tinra would like to know: does Little Big Planet count as a space game?
Sure. Fuck it. He's an alien, right?
I think. he's on a planet or something.
Yeah, it's
right?
a Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
Space game. I don't know. I put Mario Galaxy on my
Tinra.
list, so
yeah.
Yeah, whatever space is to you.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah. I said
All
that's
right,
fine.
what are we on, number 4-ish?
Yeah.
We already talked a little bit about it, but I'm going to give it to FTL.
Nice. Okay. Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, that's it. All right.
Yeah, we've talked all about it.
Okay.
What else is there to say?
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's puzzle. It's hard. It's space. It's good.
All right. Good.
Okay.
Good. My number 3 is a game I'm not sure if I've played with you guys. Have you guys played Space Team?
No.
Space Team, no.
Yeah. Space Team is the fucking shit. Okay. This game is both a phone app and a board game. I've not played the board game version.
That's right. Fucking Space Team.
Yeah, fucking Space Team.
Fucking game.
Wait, is this the one with like the different roles or whatever?
Yeah, and you have to do the stupid
yes. So
assignments it gives you.
Yeah, I'm into this game.
So, okay, Space Team is. Let me think how to describe this quickly. If you download the phone app, you want to play with somebody else. You probably want to play with like 3, maybe 4 people optimally. What happens is you'll get commands to perform. So it'll say like set thrusters to 50% or something like that. So maybe you click a button because you're like in a cockpit and you have a bunch of different control panels. So like maybe you have to set thrusters to 50%, or maybe you have to tell somebody else who's playing the game to set the thrusters to 50%, because if you don't see that control on your panel, that means somebody else has to perform that command. So you say, hey, set thrusters to 50%, and then hope that one of the other 3, let's say 3, one of the other 3 people you're playing with has thrusters that they can set to 50%. So it becomes, because everyone else also has commands, so it becomes a game about giving your commands, but also listening really well to what everyone else is saying and making sure that you don't have the control on your screen. But it's also fucking amazing because the controls just get like super stupid. Like in the later levels, it's like set the flubaflorp to glorbamuffin. You're like, set the flubaflorp to globamuffin, because there's like a thing going down and like nobody's done it, and you're like, God damn it, set the flubaflorp to glorbamuffin. Like
it's chaotic.
Yeah. And like anyone,
one of the commands I remember, it's like flush the toilet. Someone flush the
toilet. Flush the
Somebody
toilet.
flush the toilet.
Like anyone who's just walking by is like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like,
right.
Yeah.
There's a trend sort of lately, by the way, on like chaotic tabletop games.
Yeah.
Another one that's really like fun for me is this Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon, I think it's called. Have you guys played that?
I haven't played that.
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. Go pick it up at Target or YouTube it. It's like that same kind of a feeling where like everyone's yelling, everyone's standing up and trying to get something to happen, like everyone at the same time.
Uh-huh.
I like this trend, and to tie that in with like sort of a Star Trek-y feel is well done. I do like that game.
Yeah. Space Team is great. That's my number 3.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, my number 3 may not have been one you guys have heard of. I don't know, not sure. But it's not. It's questionably a game. But I figure I find it like a game.
It's called Elite Dangerous.
Called Elite Dangerous. It's all. It's the
like
rest of my list
everyone
now.
on this list.
No. Have you heard of Space Engine?
No.
So Space Engine is an actual like universe simulator. That's actually how it's labeled. Is the universe simulator.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, it takes the known cosmetic space that we're aware of, and it actually does show all the planets and things that we know. And then as you progress outside of that, it will procedurally generate and simulate what actual planets are. There is no like flying. I think they added like you can have a spaceship or something, but whatever. It's pretty much you could just kind of zip around space and check out like systems, or like, oh look, there's a black hole over there. Oh look, there's a red sun, or there's a white dwarf. I want to kind of zip over there. It's just like a cool little thing to just kind of fly around in and just kind of see star systems and what they would look like and how they would be formed, because that's what it's doing. It's simulating pretty much how we know the universe to be as of right now. So you'll find like a nebula, you'll find like clouds like out there, you'll find all different types of suns and stars and planets and moons, and it's pretty cool. It's like something just fun to just sit back and just kind of just go around everywhere and just check things out. I remember starting that up, and it was just so cool.
Yeah, that's super fucking cool.
Yeah, just to have an entire universe simulated.
Yeah,
and just do whatever, and you can go and fly out, and then you can see the entire galaxy. You can see like, oh, there's our galaxy, and then you can fly out even more and go to a different galaxy. And I kind of really enjoyed that.
It's tools.
Space Engine.
It's tools like that like make me 100% sure that aliens exist, because like you realize how small like Earth is in the Milky Way galaxy.
In the grand scheme.
Oh my God, yeah.
How small the Milky Way galaxy in the grand scheme of the universe. You're like, oh, fuck, we are definitely 100% not alone in the universe.
Oh, dude, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no mathematical possible way.
Yeah.
And, like, Star Trek Voyager does that really well, where, like, they're knocked into a completely different sector of the universe, or of the galaxy. And it takes them, like, nearly 40 years to get back or something like that? Something like that, ridiculous. Yeah. And it just goes to show you, like, just being that far in our galaxy alone at, like, some kind of... and having the highest possible warp you can get, like, even then Earth is so damn far away if you're on the other side of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
So
that actually reminds me of something, too, by the way, in Elite Dangerous. Did you know there's actually, like, this whole actual flight simulator part of it, too, where you can fly passengers... from one space station to another.
Yeah,
and
I did see something about that. Yeah, you can be like a taxi. Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's certain space stations out in the farther reaches of the galaxy, like outside of the kind of the newbie area, that have been attacked by an alien race called the Thargoid or something.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I went to like a Thargoid like attack. It was like a spaceship that was being attacked. That was a slightly terrifying experience, but there's these space stations you can like dock in, and like they're all on fire and the comms are messed up, and you can take people out of the space station to try and fly them towards the surface of the nearby planet. That has a little bit of drama. Yeah, evacuation missions. That's kind of a cool dramatic spin to the game too. That you might enjoy if you were looking for a goal.
You can be a hero, James. That's what Leo's saying. Be a hero.
A hero taxi. My number 3 is going to go to also apparently a fan favorite on the Twitch chat so far, the Kerbal Space Program.
I was wondering if anyone was going to have Kerbal in their top 5.
Yeah, that's got to be in the top 5 greatest space games, man. Like, oh, man. Okay, what is this game? This game is, if you wanted pretty much the same steep learning curve of Elite Dangerous, but with none of the fantasy. It feels like if you wanted to simulate real life NASA. It's like if you wanted, like the first mission is just to build something that flies, and then how high can you get it, and then can you break the atmosphere, and then can you orbit a planet and get to another planet or whatever. So it's like baby steps. The physics are like super realistic. I think it's actually used. I think I first played it like in school. Like they use it as an educational resource now to teach kids about space and physics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of these cutesy little aliens, so it's it's I guess approachable by young people. But very, very impressive technically, and very good way to learn about kind of astrophysics in general.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, sort of paves the way for the younger generation to be the space explorers.
Yeah, I also heard that a sequel is coming out.
It is.
Yeah,
I think
I heard
sometime
about
this
that.
year. I think.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. I guess it's sort of hypocritical, but I'm totally cool with like that game's version of like a learning curve and all the like highly modeled realism with the pretense that it's like edutainment, that like you're actually learning about how all these forces work, how rockets work, how multi-stage, how parachutes work, all that shit. Like that is cool to me, like learning how all that stuff actually works.
Is knowledge and entertainment at the same time. I mean,
exactly.
To be fair, if playing Elite Dangerous actually told us how to in real life fly to another galaxy or another solar system, we might enjoy that a little bit more, because then you'd be working towards your actual space license or something, maybe.
I guess in theory it kind of does, sort of, maybe.
It's a little. I don't know. I remember watching a video about Elite Dangerous that like there was like a scientist or something on like in an interview. It's like, oh yeah, the things talked about in this game is very much based on real life physics. Everything except for the main thing that allows you to travel faster than light, because that's not real. And it's like that's like a key factor in this game.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are we at? My number 2 is Faster Than Light, FTL. Have you guys ever dreamed about being Captain Picard? Because I have. And FTL lets you be Captain Picard. It's great.
There you go.
Except if...
How about what?
Yeah, you're Captain Picard, except if Captain Picard was like way more war hungry, just way more murdery.
Yeah. It's the inverse universe, the weird like evil universe that they do.
You end up killing a lot of people in that game, but I don't know what that game would be if you weren't constantly in combat. Anyway, FTL is great. It's great, and it's probably on sale right now. By the way, at time of recording, there's like a lunar New Year sale or something. Anyway,
is it Lunar Revel or whatever?
No, on Steam there's a sale going on right now. This is a very
on a lot of things. There's like a lunar sale. Going on.
This is a very good appropriate podcast topic, because all these space games are on sale on Steam right now, and I haven't even checked, but I am like 100% sure you can get FTL for pocket change probably.
And we definitely timed that on purpose.
Yeah, but totally on purpose.
Yeah.
FTL's great. If you haven't checked it out, you really need to play FTL.
For sure.
It's my number 2.
Yeah, I like how our number 5 and our number 2 were flipped, because my number 2 is Star Fox 64.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
When I think space, like one of the first things that came to my mind was Star Fox 64.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like almost like my introduction into like a space flying game. Was Star Fox 64, because I had PC games, but I had the basic like puzzly games, or like Doom or Quake or whatever. I didn't really have like the space games, because it was like it was the family computer. But Star Fox 64 was like one of my first into like that whole space flying and that 3D space of like moving around and shooting things. So yeah, number 2, Star Fox 64. It just holds a good place in my heart. It's nostalgic.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
I hate to say that, but it's nostalgic. It makes me feel old, but it's nostalgic.
Yeah. Well, my number 2 is a little bit more on the fantasy side, but I guess it's the first game that I played that really made me feel like I was playing a story that matched sort of a Star Trek sort of epic space saga. Or maybe that's more of a Star Wars description. I don't know. It goes to Mass Effect.
Shit!
Right.
Fuck me! How did I forget Mass Effect?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Seems like
All
no
right.
one thought about it.
Well,
James changes his list.
yeah, I gotta Oh,
It's hard. It's
yeah, it is
definitely hard to find.
All right, I got to
to
bump
pick
off
just five.
Star Fox in favor of Mass Effect then.
Oh man.
Oh
Sorry,
wow!
sorry,
wow.
sorry,
You knocked
Fox.
the number 5. Wow,
It's all right. It's
nice.
still on my list. It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. It's on someone's list. Yeah, Mass Effect is just huge to me. I mean, it oh man, what a just epic story, and it really made you feel this large world universe that took place in. And you know what I mean, James? Like, didn't it kind of feel like you're playing Star Trek? Like, it has nothing to do with Star Trek, but like the level of quality of complexity to the story and to the.
Yeah, it was like a more dark and raunchy version of Star Trek. It was like it was like DS9 or something. Like, except even more dark and raunchy.
Yeah. Hey, here's a couple honorable mentions from those Twitch people still.
Hey, Twitch fans.
Twitch
We love
fans
you.
are talking about EVE Online.
Oh, shit. Yeah, by the
yeah.
way, playing Elite Dangerous reminded me of just, like, the stories I've heard of EVE Online.
Oh, it is
Really?
somewhere along the same vein, I guess. But if you play EVE and you play Elite, Elite feels like, I don't know, just way more fun. So just
Wow.
imagine how bad EVE is for you, James.
Sorry,
Jesus.
sorry, Twitch fans who love EVE. Apparently, we hate it.
No. It's a very important game as far as space type games go. I think EVE is very important. It's pretty incredible how much like that player driven game has gone. Another one talked about is Sins of a Solar Empire. I have not really played that much, but
I
I've
have
seen
not
it.
played that either.
No.
All right, you guys in Twitch chat, tell me about Sins of Solar Empire while we talk about our number ones.
Wait. Did I give? Wait. Oh, my number one. What's my
Yeah.
number one?
Wait.
Oh.
Leo, did you do your number 2?
Yeah. It was Mass Effect.
Mass Effect,
my
right?
number-
Sorry.
my
Okay,
number
Yeah.
two.
By the way, I'm
We got
replacing
off topic.
Star Fox 64 with Mass Effect 2. Specifically the second
Makes
one.
sense.
That game's great. My number one is Star Wars TIE Fighter. It's
Boom, there it is.
great. It is, to me, it is the ultimate space sim. It's got all of the like highly modeled stuff, like I was saying, like every key on your keyboard does something, but you don't have to learn all that crap in order to just play the game, because you can just start flying around blowing stuff up. But also it's the Star Wars theme, and I love Star Wars.
That does get you.
But
Yeah.
even more, there's a pretty decent story they wrote for this game, and like that's totally unnecessary because it's just a space sim where you're flying around blowing stuff up. But like they contextualize all of the missions that you're doing in like a greater story. Like you're I'm trying to think. There's a admiral who's defecting from the Empire, and he's defecting to the Alliance, and he's got all these secret technical plans for the Empire's next super weapon, and like you can't let him defect, so we got to chase him across the galaxy, destroy all of his ships. You got to make sure you stop him from defecting to the Alliance. All that stuff. And since it's TIE Fighter, and I said specifically TIE Fighter and not X-Wing, you get to play the bad guys instead of the good guys.
That's true.
And
That is
it
key. I think that is key.
It's way more fun to be the Empire. Come on. Star Wars TIE Fighter.
It's got has a bit more mystery than X-Wing, right? Like TIE fighters, like you always wonder what those pilots are like. You only see them for quick glimpses during the movies.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And since it's a sequel to X-Wing, they kind of polished up a lot of the systems
True.
that they
Yeah,
introduced.
yeah.
And it feels a little more polished than X-Wing does.
how likely?
Yeah.
How likely are we to get another
Zero.
X-Wing
There's
TIE
no
fighter game?
fucking way. Not a chance
Come
in
on.
hell. There's
We have
no
elite. We have Elite
way.
Dangerous and Star Citizen being released, one day.
The problem, okay, well, like an unlicensed game, absolutely, I could see that. And an unlicensed version of TIE Fighter, yeah, definitely. I was kind of hoping that's what Star Citizen was going to be, just because it has the same DNA as
It might still be Wing Commander. Or whatever.
Wing Commander. Thank you, which is
Yeah,
definitely what TIE Fighter is based on. It has the same DNA, but it looks like it's going more of that NFL Madden way than the NFL Blitz way, and I'd argue TIE Fighter is a lot more arcadey.
Okay.
No, I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. The problem right now is that Electronic Arts holds the exclusive license to make Star Wars games, and
Yeah,
they
they're not
have
interested in making
they have to make these big, huge blockbuster games that appeal to a mass audience, and it's not like the old days of Star Wars where, they give the license to anyone, and you could make just these real niche games that appealed to a small subset of people, like Star Wars TIE Fighter. The way things are right now, if EA still has that license, there's no way we're going to get a real TIE Fighter sequel. Not a chance, unfortunately.
Sad.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah. My number one actually falls within the same realm as James, but it's a popular GameCube title called Star Wars Rogue Leader.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I thought about that, but I put TIE Fighter on. I figured I couldn't have two different Star Wars games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue
Leader takes it even farther in the arcade direction. It's even more arcadey than TIE Fighter is.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you get the whole, mission thing, and I think it even is an arcade game.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there's arcade
in the
versions.
same sense as, you had the original one on, I believe it was N64.
Mm-hmm.
And so, this is the... Rogue Leader was the polished version, and I felt like that one was a really good, flying spaceship around. You got some scenarios where you were in space, some scenarios where you were on other planets. You had to rescue people, you had to escort people. When I thought space, and of course, I also gravitate to Star Wars when I think of space. Mm-hmm. Rogue Leader fits that bill for me very well. That was the one thing that really came to mind was Rogue Leader.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed playing that game a lot on my GameCube. So yeah, that's my number one, Rogue Leader.
That game's fucking great.
It's good.
Good choice. My number one. First, I gotta say, a truly honorable mention to the number one slot.
Mm-hmm.
But then I decided it didn't belong anywhere in the top 5 at all. Was Star Wars Galaxies, but specifically space.
Oh,
the
jump to light speed. Yeah,
right. Just the space part of Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah. So it didn't really, because Star Wars Galaxies without jump to light speed expansion is really just you're just on planet. You know that you're on another planet out there one day. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But there's no space to it really until you actually have your ship and you're out in space. But that was such a small part of the game that I didn't think it was fair. But that alone, was such an incredible experience. Jumping into gunships with people and being the co-pilot and jumping into a turret and fighting in space. Very very cool. Very very
super cool. Super
mention.
cool.
That's
not even number one. Okay, here we go.
That was just the honorable mention. I will obviously be giving my number one spot to Elite Dangerous.
I was wondering. I was wondering.
It's so weird because I did not like this game at all. I felt like I wasted money on it when I first bought it years ago. For all the same reasons James said. There was nothing to do in the very beginning. It was a super steep learning curve. There was even less to do when I played it because there was a couple, and they're always adding to this game. So a couple years ago, there was even less to it, and I didn't take the time to invest into something that I felt was what am I doing here? But once I started making those goals for myself, just to make the goal, just to have something to work towards, I kind of started falling in love with this game, and now it's kind of one of my favorite space game of all time. So, is what it is, I guess.
Did getting the VR make it that much more?
Oh yeah, let's talk a little bit about that too, because that's kind of why I started playing this game, was to test out VR. Because you guys know I've been putting on the Oculus Rift, a Quest headset. Yes, this game once. So let me explain. Let me give you a vision of what I play this game like. Not every time, but when I want to go kind of in it, this is what I do. I've got my joystick. It is a split HOTAS system. So I've got a joystick on the right, super beefy, bulky throttle on the left. When I look down at my character wearing the VR headset, I can see my hands, and it moves. When I move the throttle, the character's hands move the throttle. When I move the joystick, the character's hands move the joystick. Okay. It matches exactly what is in the game. When you look around with your head to that system that you're using your mouse to look at the menus that kind of pop up. Very cool UI system. It is kind of complicated, but the fact that I can just activate menus by looking at them is cool. Like I can just look to my left, a menu pops up, and I'm using the little cursor on the joystick to kind of navigate this. And then the sound is like right there in your ears, which I still do believe. We didn't really talk about that too much, but there's some really, really impressive sound in this game.
There is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that just kind of adds to the whole experience. And then the complicated part is there's a lot of inputs that you don't really have on all your joysticks necessarily. Like as many, like you don't have buttons for everything you have to do. So what a lot of players do is install a program called Voice Attack that lets
I heard about that.
Yeah, you can map voice commands. It's always listening in the background, and you can just say. I don't have it on right now, so I'm not too worried. But you can say like, frame shift drive or FSD, and like a little computer will talk back to you. Yeah, frame shift drive engage, sir. And then like the game, like it'll hit a key for you that'll be registered in the game as J to activate the frame shift drive.
Can I scream at it to turn off that noise?
You can. I bought or I didn't buy it. There was a free downloadable pack that included a bunch of like commands already mapped out, and there's actually some in there where like they're like little references to Star Trek or Star Wars or
computer whatever. Turn off that noise.
That's even yeah, you could do all sorts of like little like things that like are you can just say hello and it says hello back. Like it's kind of like Alexa. It's kind of like gimmicky jokes.
Hot.
And they have all sorts of different voice packs, so you can get your favorite kind of space character. I was still looking for Jarvis from Iron Man. I couldn't find that one, but they have. I don't even know all the references. There's some that are like Doctor Who references, some that are Star Trek references. I think Data's in there somewhere. I don't know. So you can use that. So imagine, if you will, I've got this giant headset on my face. I've got these joysticks, and then like I'm just like telling my computer to fly my ship as I'm killing space pirates. So like when you like really get in it like that, and that's just. There's people who go even to more levels, like people who are like screwing their throttles and joysticks to their.
Excuse me, they're doing what with their throttles?
Excuse me.
They're deep with their joysticks into the throttle.
Ooh. Whoa, they're
on their
way
seats.
Into it.
They're deep with their joysticks. Yeah, I'm just scratching the surface of the level of immersion that some folks really get into here.
Yeah, no, I've seen the like flight chairs that are like wired to like vibrate when you get hit or whatever.
yeah, that's a whole nother level right there.
Yeah,
I want to buy
ridiculous.
one of those like hydraulic like roller coaster simulator things.
It's like moving
and and like have my joysticks and be like flying around.
Yeah. Well, the putting on the VR headset definitely gets you like a step towards that. Like that's pretty cool.
Do you find yourself jiggling yourself around in the chair when you're playing?
Pretend I'm like Star Trek style. Right?
All right.
Tinra on the stream is actually saying they might submit. Hey Tinra, send the photos of your old setup for Elite Dangerous to goodgamescast@gmail.com.
Please do that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. By the way, thank you for hanging out with us, Twitch chat. You guys are awesome. We should make this a regular thing. Just
it's kind of cool. I like
we've
this.
We've got like 6 viewers just chilling out here.
Yeah, I like having the Twitch chat live with us. This is good.
That's nice. This might be a new thing for us. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like it. I dig it. All right, you guys want to endorse some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm typing a response to my mute.
Gotcha. Okay. I was hoping somebody else would go first. I guess I'll go first, and I'm gonna wing it. Okay. I'm gonna wing it. Okay, I got one. I'm going to endorse.
I actually have one. If you don't,
I'm gonna endorse questioning things that you knew as a kid. Okay, so we started talking about this the other day. Everyone knows these things that you learned as a kid, and nobody can explain to me how we all know them. Okay? I'm talking about, like, like their like child schoolyard folklore things. So like if I say there's a place in France where the naked ladies dance, everyone knows that. But why? Like all of these weird like school like Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin Laid an Egg. Like where did we all learn that? Like,
oh yeah.
Like
They have
me
like so
Chinese, me play joke.
yeah. Yeah, and like there's the whole like Miss Susie had a steamboat, the steamboat had a bell. Like that all those weird like schoolyard things. Like every kid in the world knows them. But like
I looked
why?
up the whole science behind this. It gets like passed down for like eons.
I delved deep into this. Apparently, a lot of them. Well, the jingle. I'm trying to remember the Jingle Bells Batman Smells thing. Like came out of the 60s because it was like in vogue to like make up new lyrics to Jingle Bells and mash it with weird stuff. And some of them get really dark, by the way.
Really?
There's some like really awful there's some like really awful like terrible things that are alternate lyrics to Jingle Bells that I found out. So yeah, there's a lot of, and a lot of them like let's see, the Miss Susie Had a Steamboat. That one goes all the way back to like the 40s, like during World War II. So there's like versions of it that are like making fun of Hitler. There's versions of it that are making fun of Mussolini. But yeah, it's crazy if you dig into the etymology of all these like weird schoolyard things. But it still doesn't really explain like how every kid in the world just grew up inherently knowing that Jingle Bells and Batman Smells and Robin Laid an Egg. Like why? Why do we all know that? Like
it's one of those weird things that like just like, you know, parents know it and they pass it on to their kids and
yeah, but I can't imagine
let me
my
tell
dad
you
sitting me son, I gotta tell you something. He
Some
smells
parents.
and Robin Laid an Egg. Okay.
Look, there's that one parent that every other parent hates. It's like, oh, that guy never grew up, you know, he's still just like an immature dude or whatever. And then that guy says it to his kid, and then that kid says it to their friend in recess, and then it just, you know, snowballs from there.
If I were to apply it to like a modern day thing, I would say it's kind of like how what we call nowadays are memes. In a way.
Yeah,
right.
But that's the whole thing. Like, memes can get viral and propagate through popular websites and the internet. But when we were kids, we didn't have the internet. Like, how did that information spread? I can't
because
figure that out.
Because we were all literally clustered in like a huge, like, school in like a huge group. So like, it, you know, word spreads when you talk in large groups. That's just how it works. I think.
I guess.
That's
so weird. I guess I'm endorsing weird schoolyard folklore that you learned as a kid, questioning it, and I don't know, whatever. That's my endorsement.
I think it's very interesting. Along the same vein, I also get a big hit from like researching idioms, like old English idioms. Like
yeah.
I do that all the time. There's a guy at work that whenever I think of one, you know.
I can't even remember what I said it the other day, and I was like, "Why is that a phrase? Like who?
Right.
What? Like
I
why
always
is
question
that a thing that people say?" I'm trying to remember the thing I said. It's something you say like every day, and I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Why is that a thing we say?"
Every time I say something like that, it strikes me very at that moment. I always wonder like where I learned it. What does it mean? Like where does the history of it? Because you guys know, I had this thing back in like the high school, college days where I used touche wrong all the time.
Oh my god!
And remember and that's because growing up, like, you know, Puerto Rican, Dominican, we didn't have, you know, we have idioms, but you know, I had to learn idioms in English in the American language, and I learned a lot of mine randomly from just like television and movies and stuff. But now, whenever I say, just make sure you get all your ducks crossed or whatever, I go like, what the hell does that mean? Or whatever, 2 fish in a barrel, and you're like, what does that mean, and where does that come from? You know?
Yeah, like one thing that comes to mind is ass backwards. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good one. It
is a good one. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
I'm trying to think. There was like an everyday one, and I was like, what the fuck? Why? And I had to look it up, and it was some weird thing.
Some of them are just like unknown origins, you know? Like
just someone said it, and then that just became a thing.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So are you endorsing idioms? What's your endorsement?
Oh no, my endorsement, pretty relevant, is actually streaming on Twitch.
Oh, hey, Twitch.
My New Year's resolution is to get a little bit more social with our podcast, and part of that, I thought, why don't I do a little bit more streaming on Twitch, kind of plug the podcast. And getting started streaming is a whole lot easier than it was when I first tried it like a couple years ago. You guys know OBS is like a pretty popular open source streaming software.
Yeah.
Now they have Streamlabs OBS that basically just holds your hand and does a bunch of stuff for you. Lets you plug in directly to Twitter to tweet that you're going live. Has these like cool like themes that like let you display like an intermission or like a starting soon countdown.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Twitch dashboard now has like extensions that'll put down like if you put a schedule, it'll count down to your next stream, and have plugins for like Amazon affiliation links. It's just they have a whole stream camp or Twitch camp or something where you have all these videos to learn how to do certain things. It's super easy. Just get started streaming now. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I hadn't done this before, but and on that topic. Tinra on Twitch says, where can we find the podcast? We can find our podcast by searching for Good Games Podcast or Good Games Cast, depending on where you're looking, on Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcast, and iTunes. Right?
Yeah, Apple. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's getting late. I was like, we're also on Tinder. I was like, wait, no, that's not.
What?
Whoa.
That's not one of the things that we're on.
Don't forget to bring your flight sticks.
Make sure you swipe right on us. Is it right or left? I don't know which one's.
I think right is good, left is bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Oh, swipe right on the Good Games podcast.
That's right.
Or maybe I got it backwards. It's left is good, right is bad.
I don't know.
Now I'm not sure.
We're all married, and none of us have been in the dating game in a long time.
Yeah.
Although, did I tell you guys that I really want to start a Tinder with my wife?
What?
What?
So
this should be your endorsement. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay. New additional endorsement. Creating a Tinder with your spouse or significant other for the sole purpose of like interacting with people and doing puns and kind of like okay, so there's a I'm a big Redditor, and there's a Reddit, r/Tinder, and if you go there, it's just people like, I don't know, like doing like punchlines or like pickup lines at people, and they're really funny. Some of them like kind of. There was this one, the elaborate one, where the guy wrote, like the girl was like, "Write me a poem," like or something, and he wrote her a poem, and then all the first letters of each word in that poem wrote "send nudes." If you put all the first letters, like that's just like, I mean, it's beautiful. Like I don't know, I feel.
But couldn't you just read that Reddit without making a Tinder?
No, I want to do that. I want to be the one.
He wants to make jokes.
I want to make jokes.
I get it. I got you. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
I don't know. To me, that just seems so enjoyable. I don't know. I'll send you guys. There's a couple really good ones, and yeah. So I kind of want to do that. Maybe I'm weird, but I'm trying to convince Taryn that we should make a Tinder account.
Somehow I don't see that going over. I don't know.
It hasn't worked yet. She hasn't seen the value yet, but I'll convince her.
Okay. This is the naughty zone. This is Good Games Podcast After Dark. I just want you guys to hear some of the alternate versions of. Okay, so you guys are all aware there's a place in France where the naked ladies dance, right?
Yes.
There's some alternate versions. There's a place in France where the ladies wear no pants. The men don't care because they're in their underwear. There's a place in France with naked ladies dance. There's a hole in the wall where the boys can see it all. Okay, here's one of the World War II ones that I was talking about. When your mind goes blank and you're dying for a wank, and Hitler's playing snooker with your balls, in the German Nick, they hang you by your dick and put dirty pictures on the walls.
Wow.
What?
They came up with this when? Like how long ago?
This has to date back to the 40s, but I don't. Why is this a thing? Why is
These
this like,
are our grandparents coming up with this shit. That's
our
what that
filthy,
means.
filthy grandparents are walking around talking about when your mind goes blank and you're dying for a wank and
Jesus.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry. Please give your endorsement, Justin. I just had to get that out of my system.
Actually, funny thing was, I was going to endorse the same thing as Leo. Because I have also begun
making a Tinder profile with your wife.
Well, no, not that. No, the streaming thing.
Oh yeah.
Where
can
also,
we find you on
kinda,
Twitch, Justin?
Ooh, it is Golden Days Elf. That's Golden and then DAZE Elf. Twitch.tv. I also post the full streams on YouTube. Same account. But yeah. So after me and Leo played Elite Dangerous, I started to kind of revamp my streaming again. I streamed a little bit, but then, life happened. But, after we did Elite Dangerous, I was like, you know what? I need to get back into this. I need to get this all back in order and get it together again. Let me start doing some of this, because I have so much in my freaking Steam library that I have to play right now.
Yeah.
I bought all these games when they go on sale, and a lot of them came in like, oh, you can buy these 4 games for $5. I'm like, ooh, now I have a fuck ton of games that I just haven't played, and I really need to catch up on them. So
Same.
I'm going to start trying to stream again.
For anyone looking for Justin on YouTube, if you go to our Good Games Cast YouTube channel, we should be friends with Justin or following Justin, whatever it is. We have links somewhere. We have links to Justin's YouTube channel.
Yep.
On Good Games Cast, if you're watching this on YouTube. All
right,
right,
and recently
guys.
I've played Astroneer and Subnautica, so you'll find those up there.
Ooh.
And in case you want to join next time on my stream for the official cast 2, it is twitch.tv/logicalinsanity. We'll put a link out there with mine too.
Yeah. If this catches on, I insist that we make a official Good Games podcast Twitch.
Yeah.
If we get whatever, a lot more viewers. And thank you again, Twitch chat, for hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. Anything else, guys? I don't know. What else? Is that it? Our next show is going to be about speedrunning, right? Are we doing a speedrun show?
Speedrun show.
Yeah.
All right. Our next show is going to be all about...
We just had AGDQ.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some speed runs on our next episode. Yeah. All right, guys.
Right.
Well, that's it for me. For the Good Games podcast, I'm James.
I'm Leo.
I'm Justin, and join the Space Force.
Oh God, we didn't even talk about how the
Space Force.
Yeah,
Space Force.
that'll be our. All right, hang on. Goodbye. See you guys.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Space Force logo looking like a ripoff of the Starfleet logo. We were going to talk about that, weren't we?
Yeah. Addendum now.
Yeah, this will be the after credits stinger.
Yeah.
That I.
So we actually have 2 situations if no one knows. So we have Space Force, which apparently the new logo for Space Force looks very much like Star Trek. And then we have the coronavirus in China, where they created a company around that to counter it, but it looks very, very close to the Umbrella Corp logo.
So
real close.
That one's dangerously close. That one's just off by a color.
Yeah.
That's it.
So let's talk about these logos real quick. So first of all, Space Force, are we really that upset about it?
No, I'm not upset about it, but I'm just saying that can't be a mistake. Nobody's accidentally ripping
especially
off
when
the
we had
Starfleet
Picard
logo.
3 days ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a very obvious reference or homage or I don't know, rip off, whatever you want to call it.
We're getting like
Yeah.
talk around like, so it's like, oh, everyone's talking about Picard and Star Trek, so let's throw in this logo and get on top of that talk. You know, I don't know. It's like, could be marketing.
Oh shit, that's what I should have endorsed. I watched the first episode of Picard. Not terrible. It was not
Really?
terrible. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I heard some of the CG feels not Star Trek. I haven't watched it yet because I don't have CBS
It is
All
very
Access, but
CG heavy, yeah, which is kind of jarring because Next Gen was not really CG heavy for the most part. Like they just had some like very basic CG effects, and a lot of like everything else was practical, right?
yeah,
Like the only thing that was really like consistently in effect was like the view screen. And everything else was basically practical on the show. Yeah, there's a lot of CG in Picard. Also, Patrick
That's pretty
Stewart.
different.
Patrick Stewart is fucking old.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
one.
he's
That
a
was gonna.
wrinkly man.
The part to me is that he's got to be so old now. Like, it's
Yeah,
kinda
he
weird.
is. But it's
by the-
nice. It's nice. The show is aware that he's old. Which is
Gotcha.
good.
They
Yeah.
play it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do like a Han Solo move.
yeah. I heard
No,
they
no,
play
no.
it right by
Yeah.
like, and spoilers, but apparently this happens in like the first few minutes of the show. Apparently they pay homage to his age by literally
90
blowing him up,
Uh,
and apparently he survives.
No, there's a better. So it's in that same scene, and it's about halfway through the episode. He has to they're running away from somebody, and he has to run up a flight of stairs. And he gets to the top of the flight of stairs, and he's like, "No, hold on, I'm having a heart attack. Like we gotta stop. Like I'm out of breath."
That's
Yeah.
smart.
Like, okay,
That's smart.
good. At least the show is aware that he's very old
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Tinra says, "Have we noticed that the Space Force logo is just like the USAF space logo? I guess we're talking the United States Air Force logo."
I didn't know. Oh, the Air Force logo or the Air Force space logo?
I don't know. USAF.
Yeah,
Space,
US
oh, space
Air
logo.
Force.
Space logo. Space logo. The Air Force space logo. Yeah,
Oh,
that makes more
I don't
sense.
know. Let me Google that real quick.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. That can't be a coincidence that it's Starfleet. That's my.
oh yeah, look at that. Well, wait, no,
pretty similar?
no, that's the Space Command one.
Air Force space logo. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, that. I mean. Yeah, it's actually pretty similar. The arrow is exactly the same, and it has.
Yeah.
a roof
I heard
behind it
about
and
that
some-
where certain astronauts got like commendations, and the commendations actually like had that kind of like 3-point looking symbol, and that's actually where Gene Roddenberry got his inspiration for the logo of Star Trek.
Right.
So in a
so
sense,
it's-
it all comes full circle.
It's all kind
so
of the
it's-
same thing.
We had it backwards. Gene Roddenberry is ripping off the Air Force, and the Air Force's the new Space Force logo is just an evolution of the Air Force logo.
I
Yeah,
guess
there you go.
Is
I don't
that
know how
maybe?
true that is.
I don't know. Whatever. That's my. I don't know. Who knows?
That's something I
Some-
read in a news article. Half the time, I don't trust what news articles provide.
Well,
But
you gotta.
Sure.
You should believe everything you read on the internet for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I also believe that we're gonna be overrun by zombies now, apparently, because
Okay, yeah,
Umbrella,
so
Umbrella is real.
Yeah, so this is the other topic for discussion, and Tinder also mentioned that no one's talking about the biolab in Wuhan for research on a deadly virus.
Yeah.
So what? Can you just explain this whole situation to me? Like, I've heard a little bit about it, but like, what's the deal there?
So there's this thing called the coronavirus,
Right?
and apparently it's a super bad virus. But it's been a very rare virus. There's only like in the U.S. alone, there's only like maybe 1 or 2 cases a year. For some fucking reason, in China, it is now blown up to about like 2,500 cases.
Yeah.
And that is kind of nuts and kind of scary because it's not a virus that's supposed to be common. It's supposed to be a rare virus. I don't know what it entails. I would have to look that up. But all I know, it's like it was supposed to be a virus that no one really ever sees. Because,
Wow.
we're in a day and age where a lot of bacteria and viruses don't affect us anymore because we tend to have sanitary and cleanliness and all that. But this apparently is just blowing up. So let's see. Coronaviruses are a group of viruses that cause diseases in mammals, including humans and birds. In humans, the virus causes respiratory infections, which are typically mild, but in rare cases can be lethal. In cows and pigs, they cause diarrhea, while in chickens, it can cause upper respiratory disease.
And
so
zombie.
apparently zombie.
And
because-
zombie brain.
Yeah, for some reason in China, which maybe because of the population. I don't know, because they're massive. You know, they have a massive population there. The virus is just blowing up there for whatever fucking reason, and now like everyone's wearing a mask. Everyone's like wearing like full body clothes to try to not get infected, because they're pretty much having like a viral panic.
Okay, so Tinra says that the virus, it didn't affect humans. That's how rare it was. It was basically only found in animals.
Yeah.
And recently made a jump from animals to humans. Same type of virus that SARS came from, which was kind of big in China a couple years ago too. But where does like the umbrella logo come in?
So apparently this corporation, I think, I just read this today, like some corporation that's been built to handle the virus, literally made the umbrella logo. The only difference is instead of the red, it has teal. But it's the exact same umbrella shape as the Umbrella Corporation from the Resident Evil series.
And you can't really be someone who's dealing with a virus with an umbrella-looking logo.
No.
Or else internet meme culture will destroy you. So is
that's accurate, yes. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting.
So now everyone thinks that coronavirus is the zombie apocalypse.
Well, I'm going to start loading up on ammo now.
There you go.
We'll see how things go from here.
Yeah.
Also, somebody pointed out in that article that you linked that Corona is an anagram of raccoon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Raccoon City, yeah.
Except for the fact that in Resident Evil, raccoon is spelled with 2 C's, not 1.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, true. That's right, yeah.
But still.
It's still that doesn't help their case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tina was saying there was a research facility that opened last year in the same city that the virus started out in.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're not sure if that's the same one with the logo, but yeah, a lot of creepy. That is, man, that's starting to sound. Now, that article that you linked also talked about the recent popularity in that game on Steam that I actually have a friend who's playing it, and I kind of want to try it out, called Plague.
Called Resident Evil?
No.
It's the one like, where you can like spread viruses, right? And you
spread viruses,
and you evolve
Plague.
the virus, and
yeah. Apparently, this has led to a popularity in the downloads of that game now.
Oh, okay. Good, I guess.
I guess. How bizarre is that? But I do want to try the game out. I saw my friend playing it, and I was like, that sounds kind of interesting. It's like Pandemic, but like, indie game version.
It's like everyone's like Dwight Schrute, where they're like, we need another Plague. There's too many people.
Yeah, see, Tinner says it's an awesome game. I've heard good things about it. I want to check it out.
All right. Good stuff.
Maybe that'll be a future episode.
Yeah. Maybe.
Deadly viruses.
If we're all still around, if the zombie apocalypse hasn't consumed all of our podcast listeners, then we'll do an episode on Plague, I guess.
Yeah.